The Mickey Joseph era at Nebraska started on a sour note as they fell to their rivals in number 6 ranked Oklahoma 49-14. Following the game, the team announced that it had separated with defensive coordinator Eric Chinander. As the Huskers enter the bye week, all eyes are on whether or not the team can respond to all these shakeups and get on the right track as they get ready for Big Ten play. We'll break down the Sooner matchup and dissect more of the changes within the program with former Husker Jay Foreman. Sean Callahan will also join us with the latest on Big Red recruiting. It's all coming up next on Big Red Wrap-Up. Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Severe, and welcome to Big Red Wrap-Up on Nebraska Public Media. The first game of the Mickey Joseph era does not start off like anyone wants with a big loss to Oklahoma, 49-14. We're going to break it all down. Former Huskers Jay Moore and Damon Benning. Let's start off. Did you see that kind of game coming? A blowout.
I didn't. No, the way it started off.
I know our scores were closer than that.
I thought it was going to be rather high scoring. I figured Nebraska wouldn't be able to stop them, but I also figured our offense would be able to keep up a little bit. You know, I think we had it at a 17, maybe a 3-touchdown game, but this thing was over by halfway through the second quarter. I did not see that drastic of a change in my prediction.
Yeah, I think I went with 34-20 as a prediction, and I didn't see it going that bad at all. But, you know, listen, Oklahoma plays fast, and I thought the key matchup in that deal was Oklahoma's front four versus Nebraska's offensive line, and that was going to be the game within the game. I know people were worried about Nebraska's defense, and they didn't hold up, but I considered that kind of a given. It was the fact that Nebraska's offensive line had zero answers for what Oklahoma wanted to do and how easily they were doing it and how fast Oklahoma played. I was shocked to see a team, and Jay, you know this, there's a difference between being fit and being able to do what Oklahoma was doing, where you'd get a 15, 20-yard, 25-yard play. They're snapping it again with 20 seconds to go on the play clock, and they did it over and over and over again. Their fitness was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, and you've gone against some fast teams. There were some fast teams in the Big 12 when you were playing, but I don't think they were going that fast.
No, God, no. They go 2-minute drill the whole time. You know, we never faced that. I think Texas Tech was starting to get there, evolving there.
I think real close.
Yeah, I think Missouri was kind of evolving to there. Not quite. We didn't get a ton of that. You know, when I was playing, but you do get the 2-minute. I mean, that gashes you in a hurry, especially if you're rushing the passer constantly. That'll drain you. Now, if you get mix some runs in there, you can reserve a little bit of energy. But that tests your depth, and it also tests your focused ability to play with vision, and it forces defense to get quick with their calls. So you get a lot of repeat calls, so they know, like, hey, we're getting cover 6 over here, boom, or it's quarter half, or it's cover 2, or whatever it may be. They know exactly what they're getting because. I mean, you got players scrambling, you got the DCs and everyone else on the sideline are scrambling, trying to get people lined up, and then the offense is just right on tempo. They know what they got every time, and they had us pegged.
So the blame falls to Eric Chinander, obviously, because that's who they let go. Do you think that was the good move? That was a move that was necessary to be made?
Yeah, it's interesting. Without knowing what happened behind the scenes, not much is going to change, I think, in terms of the bye week to the end of the season, another 7 weeks for Coach Chinander, unless Coach Joseph and that coaching staff and the administration felt like he had checked out, right? I mean, you can get a fresh set of eyes, you can get a little different defensive perspective, but I don't think he was going to be so stubborn in terms of where he wouldn't change philosophically. It had to be that he just wasn't able to reach the players at this particular juncture. And with a bye week, it was kind of a natural break in order to try a new voice, maybe so much not schematically, but internally between the 6 inches between your ears.
What side surprised you the most? Was it the way the offense played, or was it the way the defense played?
I think more the offense, just because we've seen somewhat of consistent performance so far. And granted, they never faced a defense like Oklahoma. That's a really good defense they played, and it's vastly different from what you've seen from other Oklahoma teams. Now with Venables leading the charge there, so definitely the offense. Ben Hart struggled. Just offensive line, just the timing, everything. You had the first drive out there, and they get 7 real quick to the pop to pass over to Palmer, and you're thinking that thing's cooking, let's go. And then all of a sudden, everyone settles in, and Nebraska was outmatched. And offensively, surprising. Defensively, they haven't been able to stop anyone all year, so that was no surprise to me that they were going to struggle against Oklahoma, who I thought wasn't as good of an offense, and maybe they're still not. Maybe Nebraska's defense is just that bad, but they look pretty good.
Yeah, I thought Nebraska was going to be able to get after the passer a little bit better, just because Oklahoma had struggled, I think, protecting Gabriel, and Nebraska got to him early and had a couple of tackles for losses. I think they ended up with 2 or 3 sacks. So, Gabriel would hold the ball a little bit. I just think Nebraska's inability to give themselves a chance with formation recognition in terms of stopping the run is just a recipe for disaster. I'm not sure if it matters who's playing when I'm a safety getting down into the box with a running back that has a two-way go.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about alignment.
That's tough.
When we get to that. But we got a busy day, obviously, with everything that happened at Memorial Stadium, with all the changes around the football program. I know you have a lot of questions and comments. So we want to hear from you. Our friends at the University of Nebraska's College of Journalism and Mass Communications, are hearing tonight. They're here tonight, and they're going to take your phone calls. They're enjoying some Valentino's pizza. Hopefully, it'll be there soon. Our sports intern, Sam, is here. He's managing the room. If you prefer to email or text tonight, you can also do that. BigRed@NebraskaPublicMedia.org. Or just go on the social media accounts. You can check. We're checking Facebook and Twitter for your comments and questions, so send them in. Our sideline survey is up and ready for your vote. Are you surprised at the state of Nebraska's defense? It's easy. Yes, no, or simply what's happening. 68% of the people say yes, they are surprised. Head to our website now to vote and head back each week for a brand new survey.
Shane's a good man and a good coach, but the numbers didn't add up. I didn't see us getting better. For 4 weeks, I didn't see us getting better from week 1 to week 4. So, I had to make a decision, the best decision for the kids, because it's about the boys. So I had to make the best decision for the boys. Bill is built for this. He's sharp. He's gonna, like I said, he's gonna be detailed in his qualities. He's a really good football coach, and he'll take care of it. I understand, and Bill understand what I want. Like you said, we spent time together at LSU, and we talked a lot when we was at LSU. He was the safety coach, I was the receiver coach, so we got to compete against each other and share notes and compete against and get after each other on the field. Some people think we don't like each other, but we do. We just get after each other on the field. I challenged the kids to get better this week. So our motto this week was Nebraska versus Nebraska. Not worry about Indiana, to get ready and to get better as an individual team, and to get the fundamentals cleaned up and get better in all 3 phases of the game. We needed this bye week. We needed this bye week to reset. These kids haven't had a chance to reset. They had to go from here to here, and then here. It wasn't Oklahoma Panhandle coming in here. It was OU coming in here. So let's be real about it, okay? So yeah, there was a good bye week.
Damon, we talked right after the Northwestern game, just texting, and I thought where Chenander was in the booth, where he couldn't see very well, new safeties out there, they couldn't get aligned. And I thought, okay, they'll get that straightened. They never did. Why? Is it inexperience? What happened?
Well, I think that's a little bit of it, just the inability to get lined up. But as both Jays will eventually be able to talk to, Jay Moore immediately and Jay Foreman coming up, I think the one thing that people forget when it comes to coordinating a defense, it's not just about fronts and alignment. Coverages have to marry what you want to do to fit in the run game. And if you're light in the box, then you probably have to tighten up in the secondary. If you're loose in the secondary, then maybe you can load the box. And I think for Coach Chenander, he was much more comfortable coaching that too high, kind of that shell look. He's a quarters, half guyer, and he likes to play some palms, which just means at home that they're reading the number 2. And sometimes it doesn't always lend itself to really good run support in the box from the depth at which those safeties have to play. And when your guys up front are holding guys up and they're kind of reading the neck and they're playing with their hands, you have to be really good at the second level fitting downhill. I'd like to see Nebraska get more into kind of that hit it, split it, where they almost gap you out, just to see if you can't play a little freer and a little looser and give yourself a chance to get downhill as opposed to being so reactionary.
We're looking at some numbers. This is historically bad right here. It goes back to 2007 or 2017 under Diaco. You see this, all those rankings. There's 130 teams, and Nebraska's down at the bottom of all of them. If you were going to change something, change one thing, based off what Damon said and what you've seen, what would you change if you're Bill Busch?
It'd be interesting. I would like to see them if they could over the bye week. And correct me, Jay could correct me here in a little bit, or you might need to change up your defensive front a little bit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind to see them either go to an under front and get some of your better players. I think you can put Hutchmacher at the nose, playing that one or the shade. You can put Ty Robinson probably at the under 5 technique.
Mm-hmm.
You put Garrett Nelson potentially as the Sam, or Caleb Tanner. I think you put O'Shawn at the opposite side, playing on the 3 technique, and maybe put Wynn there as a 3 technique, or there's a couple other guys that kind of fit that. So I think you could strengthen that. And you're never going to get, that's my view of under defense is against a pro style 21, 22 personnel.
It helps you against weak side run game.
Yeah, so, but you don't get a lot of that anymore. It's spread, so it's interesting how it fits. You got Nebraska plays in dime and nickel a lot just because you're seeing 4 or 5 wideout looks. So it's tough to get into base and be there, but there's a change I would make. I would like to see them shore up the front. If you can shore up your front, they'll make your linebackers a little better. And make your secondary a little better, just to help them the run game fits.
I think alignment alone will help Nebraska tremendously. Whether, as opposed to head up versus playing in like let's say a 7 technique where you give good spacing along your D line to not have such short corners, right? It's I think a lot of it is it's not simply alignment. But I do agree with Jay where I think a lot of it is about how your defensive front gets lined up.
Just you got to take away something,
Just make it cleaner for everyone.
Take away. We saw the Vikings and Eagles play on Monday night, and the Vikings weren't taking away anything. Mm-hmm. They couldn't handle the running quarterback. They couldn't handle the pass. They weren't coming up, and they got to take something away. Yeah. You got to say, we're going to stop this.
Right. Your main thing in football and defensively, it's stop the run, make teams one-dimensional. That's what you usually can do, but Nebraska hasn't been doing that. So if there's one area you'd like to think, hey, we got to stop the run. That's make teams one-dimensional. So you can know when we bring out our nickel defense or our dime, whoever we're bringing the extra defensive back, we know you're not going to run the football. You might run it every now and 3rd and long on a draw or something like that, but you rally, you make tackle, get off the field. But have been dictating what our defense does. They are behind the chains all game. It is 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. That's hard to call as a defensive coordinator because you can do a little bit of everything. So it puts you behind the 8 ball, and that's just it's really hard to call games when you're always behind the chains.
It's interesting ebb and flow defensively because Nebraska started out getting off the field 1 out of 4, right?
Yep.
Oklahoma had converted 1 out of 4 of their first 4 third downs, and then
if it wasn't for that long quarterback run, they could have stopped them there.
Which was a third down,
yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And I think they converted their next 5 or 6 in a row. Mm-hmm. And so when you can't get off the field, I think Nebraska emotionally, their psyche really factors into how they look physically. And I know some people talk a lot about their athleticism or lack thereof and strength and conditioning and some of these other things, but I'm just curious to see what would happen if Nebraska felt good about themselves. Right, I think it's human nature to when you don't feel good about yourselves and when you have negative self-esteem, you don't typically maximize throughout the course of the day. And I think as 18 to 22-year-olds, you're seeing a lot of that. They're waiting to exhale for this Superman moment, and they've got to get back to being able to celebrate the small victories, competing in practice, really breaking it down to, hey, we won the day or we won the drill. Because I was really concerned, you guys, and you know this almost better than anybody because I talk to you almost every day. I would say when your coach is speaking it into existence, we need to catch a break. We just need something good to happen. You subconsciously diminish the grind. You don't embrace the day-to-day because you almost diminish it if you're just waiting for this magical aha moment. You have to appreciate the day-to-day so you can make it to the big picture, because we never used to talk about winning or losing. We just knew that if you laid it on the line today, tomorrow, the next day, it'd give you the best opportunity to have success. So if you're skipping the details and not trusting the grind, then you sit around waiting for the big thing to happen, and when it doesn't, you don't appreciate the day-to-day.
Well, you guys talked goals. You didn't talk about winning. If you hit all your goals, you're going to win the game, right? Mostly. Bill Busch, what do you think he brings in terms of a new message? Or
he's going to bring intensity. He's very detailed. Yeah. He brings the energy. Very very detail-minded. He was a safeties coach and special teams coordinator, and I was there, and I dealt with him a little bit. I played a couple special teams at Nebraska through my 3 years, so I got to see him. I don't remember who I was telling the story to. We played Iowa State my senior year at Iowa State, and I was, on field goal block, but I was a contained guy. But I normally had to go kind of button press the end guy and then kind of shuffle around just to play the fake and honor it on the inside. Well, I got a little lazy in my technique, and I was just bumping out a little earlier, and all of a sudden we play Iowa State, and they try to run a fake right up there. Luckily, I was able to recover and make the tackle. But as a senior now, he ripped me a new one in meetings, on special teams meetings on Tuesday. He don't care. He just wants you to do the right thing and play well. So, normally like, oh, he's a starter, he's a senior. I bet you took it easy. No, man. I can appreciate that. He wants the best of everyone. He's going to make sure the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. And it's tough. It's going to be hard. It's going to be what he's dealing with. It's not an easy situation, but from my personal experience, I hope it works out for him. And I know the effort, the energy, and the details will be there.
Yeah, he's a tremendous communicator. Right, he's one of those guys that doesn't give you the impression necessarily sometimes. He's got a little aloof to him. He's kind of edgy, but his recall is fantastic, and that makes his attention to detail that much more prominent. And he can talk to just about anybody. I mean, you could put him in downtown Omaha. You could take him to rural Nebraska. You could take him to, the 8th Ward. His ability to communicate. Is something that I think is pretty underappreciated.
Sounds like Mickey a little bit.
I don't remember how many years he would have been around Aranda at LSU, but
2 years.
You'd think that would. There's some notes in that notebook
and
there that you can fall back on.
Different, right? Aranda is super aloof and real philosophical, and Coach Bush with his attention to detail had to be a nice combination.
There's no way you can tell what's happening on the field by watching Dave Aranda. Remember they had the stop in the Big 12 championship game, and he had zero emotion. They just won the 12 championship, and he had no emotion.
One of the more unique personalities of the CEO.
It's interesting. If you have kids at home, I suggest you cover their eyes, because here are the highlights from the game against Oklahoma. We all know what happened. Nebraska gets off to a great start. Here's one of the things I looked up going into this game. Nebraska averaged 3.2 explosive plays on all their touchdown drives this year. And how many do they have on this drive? They had 3 explosive plays, 2 passes and 1 run, with the last one. What'd you see here with Trey Palmer getting open?
Well, I think, the DB got caught flat-footed. He got beat on a little skinny. I think Jay and those guys like to call that kind of that bang 8. It was a little longer on the post. I think he thought the throw was going to come quicker. He let it clear and had daylight. That
was one of those tackle for losses you were talking about earlier. But here, 3rd and 7. Oklahoma hadn't converted more than a 3rd and 7 all season long. And then they get this one. And look at some of was it loafs you guys call it when you're watching tape?
There's definitely going to be a few loafs on that one.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get off the block. You got to watch it, get your eyes turned. I understand that somebody thought that he went out of bounds. I think Buford did. But the other defensive back is looking right at it, so I don't understand what happened there. But again, Dylan Gabriel makes that, he converts it, and that's when everything changes, Damon says. After that, it was just conversion after conversion. There's a pass there to Stoops' kid, and then the touchdown in the corner, again, beating the same defensive back in that situation. What do you see here?
Yeah, we call that a little sluggo, a little slant and go. And Farouk is going to be the deal. He'll be the next great Oklahoma wide receiver.
And they have had a whole bunch of them. Here we go again. Dylan Gabriel, who wasn't great all day.
No.
You look at his stats, but he made the plays he had to make, and he really was good in the red zone. And once they crossed the 40-yard line, here's a double pass. They pulled that out.
That should have been formation recognition. You could see a little bit of the alignment from Oklahoma. Something unnatural was coming.
And then you have this situation where you get the sack. 4 sacks total on the day for Oklahoma, getting to Casey Thompson, and then come back, make a nice play. A lot of those screens, that's what Oklahoma does. Still doing that after all.
They did. That play should have been made at the line of scrimmage or possibly a tackle for loss.
And then here's another touchdown. Again, we talked a lot about the run game and what Nebraska hasn't been able to do. Almost 1,000 yards given up in the first 4 games. 5.8 yards a carry right now for Nebraska's opponents. And then you go and you come out of halftime and you get a good play, but like Nebraska so often has done, the fumble happens.
Yeah, I mean, and you could see that Oklahoma, the way that they're coached, you can tell the difference between takeaways and turnovers.
Yes.
This is a takeaway. They constantly were attacking the ball all day long for Nebraska. And, Nebraska just wasn't sudden enough after the catch.
Gray again with another long run, by the way. Trey Palmer, 10 catches, 92 yards, and 1 touchdown. Again, he's the leading receiver for Nebraska. Gray with another touchdown there. That makes it 42-7. This is when the crowd really started leaving by the time the fourth quarter started. And then Purdy comes in and shows some athleticism. I don't know if people realize they didn't watch him at Florida State, but he can get around. He can move a little bit.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. There was a reason he was so highly rated as a dual threat guy, and he gives you every opportunity. That move right there, Gabe Ervin.
Yeah.
If I was coaching, you got to put the spin away. You're going to get yourself hurt, kiddo.
He did it 3 times. He did go 7 carries for 60 yards. Purdy gets a touchdown right here. Gabe Ervin's now the number 2 back, most likely, with the injury to A.J. Allen. Touchdown there, 49-14. Final stats, when you look at them, look at all the first downs between the 2 teams. It was something like 60 first downs between the 2 teams. Nebraska, of course, they win the time of possession. Everybody's been crying about time of possession. It didn't matter much in this game.
Well, it's your number 1 stat outside of havoc plays. I'm surprised you haven't gotten into finishing drive rate.
Yeah.
And for Nebraska, it was subpar as many times as you crossed the 40.
Well, I'll tell you who was good at it was Oklahoma. Our player of the game against Oklahoma is Trey Palmer, the explosive wide receiver. Notched his first touchdown as a Husker against the Sooners. We saw the play. Now it's time to dive deeper into the playbook, and we join Jay Moore in the huddle.
All right, we're going to come back and look at a couple of these plays that we already went through with Michael and Damon. So we're going to look at this Gabriel run here, this long one. Nebraska kind of comes out. You got 3 down linemen, 5-man look. They eventually just drop off Reimers, bring 4 against Oklahoma's 5. So someone, you know, it's not a great situation, but someone needs to win, and they don't. And I'm going to highlight O'Shawn Mathis here early on. Now, everything we heard, this guy, elite pass rusher, real deal. He has a one-on-one situation. He needs to win this battle or put himself in position not to take him out. Essentially, he has a 2-way go. He has this guy turned. He could have hit him with something. Being a left-handed quarterback, he's not, you don't have to worry about him scrambling and throwing over here. He's a lefty. So I'd like to see him do something, but he takes himself out of the rush, falls down. Now next, I just figure these are just, I know I'm not lacking his effort, but come on, just give me a dive or something here at his feet. And then this one, this isn't practice. Don't tag him. Just dive, do something. Try to get him down in this scenario. Bad angles by Farmer. Bad angle here by Reimers. He needs to be coming here. I don't know if he overestimated what Gabriel's speed was, but again, we've already seen this. Bad angle, bad tackle. And the DBs, whether they knew he was out of bounds or not, I don't know what was happening, but it's not how you play football. And we've been seeing too much of this. So let's go on to the next play here, and this is the bubble pass here, and Damon already alerted this. I had it written down. Odd formation into the boundary. That's high alert. As a defense, you know, okay, they got a weird thing into the boundary. You'd be thinking this isn't right. And this guy is way off the ball. Something has to be queued up, but they don't. Nebraska doesn't see it. They're able to sneak this back right out of the backfield. Everyone just bites on the bubble screen. Running back steps up, and easy 6 points for the Sooners.
Bo occasionally calling these random defensive timeouts because he saw something like that. Should somebody from the sideline have seen something and said something?
Well, you're definitely on high alert. I mean, it's a unique formation, and if you hadn't seen it, I don't see why you wouldn't burn a timeout there, but hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
But it was really a well-conceived play, especially with how and where they leaked the back out. It looked a lot like their run game. Mm-hmm. The hiding of the number 2 kind of stacked like that should have put you on high alert.
Plus, Nebraska was exhausted by that point. Yep. Next up on the show, we'll be joined by former Husker linebacker Jay Foreman to address the changes needed on the defensive side of the ball. As we go to break, more images from Saturday's game, courtesy of Hail Varsity. Stay with us. We're back soon. Welcome back to Big Red Wrap-Up. I'm Michael Severe, of course, with former Huskers Jay Moore and Damon Benning, another former Husker joining us. Jay Foreman now here on the Wrap-Up. Jay, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man, and just taking it all in like everybody else, man. It's a unique time to be a Husker alum.
Yeah.
I'm a fan, critic, I guess, but it's a different time.
I ran into you and Steve Warren years ago after a really bad game against Oklahoma State. You guys were walking away and you were mad.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You all right?" And he's like, "That's not black shirts to play.
Yeah.
I can't justify what they're doing."
Right.
It's got to be painful to watch that stuff happen.
Yeah, I want to say this. Eric Shenander, he's a good dude. For me, if I say you're a good dude, that's a seal of approval. And he worked at it, and when I looked at it, like when I looked in his eyes, I know he wanted it. He wanted to be here, and he wanted it to be successful. And he had good leadership skills, because I've seen him in action. So that's unfortunate, because I always joke around and say, man, there's no play that a defensive coordinator that me and Jay ever played in and say, hey, cover 7, alert the dice, miss 3 tackles, and run the wrong way.
Yeah. Right.
I don't
They never draw that up that way?
Or when has there ever been TO say, hey, Rob Zaska, we're going to do two delay
40,
flat.
42 counter trap, but
Don't block that guy.
Don't block that guy.
Don't block that and let him kill Tommy. So that's unfortunate. But the most alarming thing to me is, and this is, the Oklahoma game is going to give you that's the highlight because you got obliterated by 35 points, and they turned the gas off.
They did early
at halftime. So they could have put a 70 burger on you without it, or you didn't have any resistance. The thing that was the most alarming to me, and this has nothing to do with coaching, has nothing to do with who the head coach is, who the AD is, who the defensive coordinator is the amount of loss and the lack of effort by some guys that have been or supposed to be their bell cows, or the guys that have, let's just be honest, right? We're in the circle of trust, or what is this, the half circle, half moon, right? You got captains out there loafing, all right? You got guys that play a while loafing, right? And as a black shirt, I'm put you to the task. I mean, Dante Jones, Dwayne Harris, if I didn't play good, they would call down to Doak's office and tell me. That's the most alarming thing. You saw a little bit of it against Northwestern, bad angles to the ball, so that's a practice habit. Coaches can only do so much, right? But at some point in time, if you accept the responsibility of an NIL deal, let's just say, because it's a big deal now, right, or whatever you're doing, then you have the responsibility that when you play football, you got to play hard. You can't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Bill Bush says, okay, we're going to run a 3-3-5, 4-3, 5-2. You can run the 6'2" stack monster from that movie I just seen this weekend. If
all the right moves,
right? We better start getting some right moves right now, right? But if you don't play hard or you don't execute, it don't matter. So what has to happen, in my opinion, is, and I hope Bill Bush does, makes it real simple. Peel that stinky onion back and let's just get down to basics. And then, you know what? Inside that locker room, it can't be any more funny talking, right? Because it's a lot of this right now. Now, we got to have some hard conversations. Because I know when I played, if that quarterback had ran like that and we had seen that effort there would be some closed-door meetings and there'd be some people coming out with more than their feelings hurt. And not to go to that extent, but you got to start saying, hey, look, man, I depend on you. Like me and Jay play together. I depend on Jay. He depends on me. He needs my effort more than anything, especially in a time like this.
When you go into this bye week, you obviously make the changes. And when you're in the NFL, do you have a defensive coordinator fired midseason?
Yeah, I mean, I've had it. I've seen it all.
Well, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I never had experience. I had head coaches fired middle of the season in the NFL, but I never had a defensive coordinator fired.
Yeah.
What are they looking at now? Just
I think they, maybe simplify some things. Try to see the things that they maybe have done successful, and it might even be, do we have all 11 guys lined up and executing the defense, even if you get beat, right? They're on scholarship too.
Sure.
Start there. Let's look at, okay, what does Ty Robinson do well? Have him do it. What's Nash do well? Have him do it. Wynn, Drew, O'Shawn, Caleb, and then start to create your confidence from there. And, to be honest with you, it can turn really quickly. It really can. I mean, you see this. I always go back to when the Colts had the worst defense in the league, I think ever, right, at that point in time. Yep. Bob Sanders came back. They simplified the defense, Tony Dungy said, and next thing you know, they end up, from that game on, being one of the better defenses. So it can be done.
Hey, let me ask you, because I think this is interesting, just putting together defenses at the high school level. Fronts matter, and coverages have to be married to defensive fronts.
Right.
Walk us through where you think Nebraska is disjointed, because it looks disjointed.
Yeah, I think the fronts in the you're right, in the coverage they're crucial, because you can't run a lot of stunts and have a high risk coverage in the back end, because that's how you get gashed. And there's always a weak spot in the defense, so you always try to guard against that. And Oklahoma did a really good job of that. When you look at their defenses, they knew the weak spot, but they guarded against it based on down and distance and the personnel that they were facing. So they have to marry, and because just like that play right there, right? The alley player it seemed like he didn't know which way to fit based on where the linebacker was. Well, that's based on the front, because if I'm a linebacker and I know the front, what potentially could happen against any play, I'm going to feel faster. So then his job to make a tackle in space against a world-class athlete is, instead of a gap like this, it's reduced. That's how you tackle well. That's why when a two-way go against me, you better win as a running back.
Yeah. I would be mad if they didn't beat the defender. Right. A two-way go from 12 yards off the ball.
Right.
The running back should win.
Unless the running back decides to run right into the guy.
Right.
Which we saw a couple weeks ago.
Unless it's me going against this current Oklahoma defense.
Yeah, it's tough.
What can they get done in 2 weeks?
Well, they can get a lot done. Coach Mickey said that they're going to get back to basics and fundamentals. Mm-hmm. So right there, that's a big part of it. And I talk to Damon all the time. I'm a big proponent, because this is the way I was able to be somewhat successful. Footwork, fundamentals. You start there. Yeah. You can't make a play unless you give yourself a 50-50 chance of having success. So it's alignment, assignment, be aggressive, footwork. And then the linebackers have to marry each other. It's almost like they're dancing and they're on like a string together. Mm-hmm. And then they got to play fast together. And you know what? If you really kind of simplifies the defense, you'd want your chatter and your communication to go through the roof. If you watch the games, there's not a lot of chatter, and it's always late.
Yeah, it's very late.
It's very late. So now, even if you're going against a tempo team, and I heard you guys before, where they can kind of keep you in like a couple defenses, well, if you prepare for that and you have a guy that really can dive into your defensive system, you can actually have 4 or 5 defenses on the ready. Now, that's what the wristbands are for, but more importantly, that's what this is for. So you're orchestrating the defense, so you want those guys like Jay Moore looking forward. So they got to trust me to do my job. And so I think if they get that communication going, I think you could turn the defense around. You see the tackling a lot better. You see them having more fun. I always liked when the communication was there, because then, you're kind of learning on the fly, and you're making plays. You'll see them make more, turnovers, more explosive hits. And then hopefully their football acumen or awareness will increase as well. So, I can communicate as an outside linebacker to a corner to give him more confidence to maybe play a little bit closer on like a 3rd and short and take more chances. Then he can communicate to a back guy to have his back, right? Because at the end of the day, this, Damon, as a coach, if us 3 are playing and we don't give up a touchdown, but we figure it out, you're cool with it. We'll get with it on Monday or whenever you watch tape. Mm-hmm. But what you don't want is to get hit with the same play week after week, and you don't figure it out. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. Just go and play football. Find what makes you love football. And if you don't love football, then, obviously you can't. You got to find something else to do, man, because it'll show up on Saturday.
I don't want to sound like an old person, even though I am. But you know what you really can't do when another team is going fast? You can't celebrate little plays. Oh. And you got guys in the secondary celebrating an incomplete pass and not getting back lined up.
Right.
Oklahoma's not worrying about whether or not you stop that one play. They're on to the next one. That needs to stop. In practice or whatever, they need to stop that.
All that kind of goes into it, right? It's the attention to detail. It's we before me. It's what the only way this team is in particular. Let's talk about defense. It's my wheelhouse. The only way they're going to get back to playing somewhat to their potential is a we type of attitude.
Yeah.
They're going to have to dig themselves out together because we don't have a Von Miller or somebody like that, or somebody like that where you could just say, you know what, he's going to make a difference-making play. So we have to do it together. And once they decide to do that, and that's even for the DBs and everything like that, they got to start checking each other, man. Because that's not Nebraska football. I mean, let's be honest, right? I mean, that's not the way anybody envisioned them playing. They know better. So let's start acting our age and start playing the right way. And then if you get beat on a play, make them beat you twice. They beat you twice, make them beat you a third time. Fourth or fifth time, then you can make an adjustment to it.
You said your wheelhouse was defense, but you know the offensive side of the
Right.
ball. What'd you see from playing against Oklahoma? After going against three pretty porous defenses, what'd you see against Oklahoma that made them struggle so much on offense?
Well, I think the Oklahoma defense is different than last year, and I knew that just because I think, Brett is superior as a defensive, coach. Mm-hmm. So you knew that he was going to play to their strengths, which was inside of their defensive tackles and try to get our offensive line to burp, right? And burp, I mean penetration, the initial shock. So what we didn't match is their physicality and intensity up front. And then we got out of our way a little bit as far as sticking with the run game and controlling the clock. Short area passing game. We had some drops, some bad routes, and bad reads. So once you see the defense struggling and the offense not being able to match, which has been totally different this whole season, we needed to kind of get back to what we were doing. And once we got out of our way, we never seemed to recover. Then you start to get desperate. Then you start to miss the tight end wide open and try to hit a post into two defenders. Yeah. Well, if you're down 14 points or 21, there's no 21-point pass. So you got to kind of systematically get back into the game, and it's a learning experience because on both sides of the ball, you have guys that have on paper experience, but they're inexperienced playing together, and that's huge. That's the difference between the defense last year, right? Athletically, this defense at some spots might be better, right? Let's be honest, like overall, right? Mm-hmm. But the experience of being back there and having the safety net of two guys that you knew that if they were out of position once, that you would never get them twice. And that would give Chinander a ton of confidence up there, but it gave confidence for young guys that never played before, the Heinrichs, the Reimers. Now it's flipped, right? So for 2 games, you got to think Reimer had to call defenses. That's not what he likes to do, right? But did it curtail his playmaking ability? Well, then you brought in a freshman that just was in Columbus last year. That's a big step. So the circumstances hasn't worked out well, but on offense and defense. But I think if they get back to, some hard-nosed football, kind of like when we used to have I used to hate bye weeks because we'd have to go back.
They're the worst.
Because Coach Osborne going right back to spring ball. 25-minute group works.
Good on good.
Good on
and
good.
there was no reward at the end of the week. That's the problem.
Yeah, you didn't play a game on
There's
Saturday.
no game, right? It just was like, this sucks.
But what these guys need to do, I guess I could ask you guys, is they need to, their work week doesn't stop whenever their practice is done. So if they're done practicing on Thursday, because I'm sure the coach has got a recruit or whatever.
Yeah.
You better be in there Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, because the one thing I would ask this team, or I'd tell them, or I would ask them before the season what you're willing to sacrifice to be, say 9-3 instead of 3-9. I would tell them now, by the way you guys play as a whole, that means all 180 guys out there, you guys haven't sacrificed enough. And sacrifice isn't necessarily your time, but are you willing to sacrifice to take on a block continuously for Damon to make the play, or Jay, and then I get 1 tackle and they get 2. Sacrifice is huge because when you see these gaps in the defenses, there's not enough sacrifice in offense as well.
That's why you said we over me.
Right.
Jay, we appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much. No time for another break. Next up, Sean Callahan will join us. We'll dive deep into the latest updates on recruiting, but first, another look at last Saturday's game with images from Hail Varsity. Be sure to vote on this week's Sideline Survey. Easy question. Are you surprised at the state of Nebraska's defense? 67% of the people say yes, 22% say no, and 11% say what is happening. Make sure you visit the Wrap Up website and cast your vote. Welcome back to Big Red Wrap Up. I'm Michael Severe, Sean Callahan. Time to talk some recruiting. We had a decommit.
Yeah, Cameron Linhart decommitted really shortly after the news of Eric Chenander with his firing on Sunday. Cameron Linhart was the last guy to commit to Nebraska here. It was in Ireland, actually, when Nebraska was getting ready to play that game out there. He visited in June, announced in August, just wants to reopen things up. And he's very close to Mike Dawson, and I think odds are both those guys. Obviously, Chenander's gone. Coach Dawson, I think, knows he's not going to be here as well long term. So Linhart's going to open things back up and kind of see what comes his way.
Are you expecting that to happen with more? You lose defensive coordinator. Obviously, the head coach is gone. What are you expecting?
Well, there's a good group of local guys in this class, and there's a good group of Mickey guys in this class. So I think right there you're in good shape. It just depends on who's kept on the staff, who stays around. But you have to assume all the in-state guys, you're going to be in good shape with. And if Mickey Joseph were to be retained, the guys he's on, you would like the chances on some of those guys. A lot of it just depends on how this shakes out with the coaches and kind of who's here in December.
Yeah, our in-state guys is Daniel Caitlin. I got a chance to watch him when he was alternating a couple years ago at Bell West, and I thought he was really tentative. Saw him a couple of weeks ago against Westside. I think he's just gotten better. He's more comfortable, he looks like to me, throwing the ball.
Well, he's gotten a lot of reps, all the way back to his freshman year. He saw time in the varsity for a very good Bellevue West team.
Right.
Played JV varsity both last year, split the starting job. This year he is the outright starter as a junior, has several Power 5 offers. Nebraska obviously offered him way back when, but there was kind of some question, was it a true committable standing offer? He was at the game though on Saturday. I thought that was a good sign for Nebraska that he was there, that maybe he is back in play, but you've got Vanderbilt on him and Minnesota and a number of other regional teams that are on him hard, and I think December, January, this guy will get a lot more activity, and a lot will depend on where he falls on boards. A lot of his offers are they committable yet? I think that's the big question.
Yeah.
Because you can only usually take one quarterback, and a lot of people have gotten their name at least in the running, but I think by January we'll really kind of know where he stands.
What he's got to do is when the game gets tight, tough late, he's got to be the guy that steps up and be the leader. They fumbled the ball 11 times last week
against
Kearney, and they end up losing.
But then against Bellevue West, he made a great against Creighton Prep.
Yes.
He made a great throw in that game late when he kind of had a few moments where he struggled. He's got the tools. What a way to go.
Mickey mentioned it today. Coach Mickey mentioned it today. They're going to be out on the road. They're still trying. They're not sabotaging. They're trying to keep these guys where they headed.
Yeah, Nebraska has 2 bye weeks, one here and then another one coming up 3 weeks later after they play Indiana. You're going to see a lot of coaches out locally. You're going to see maybe down in Kansas City, Pierce, Nebraska. They're going to go out and see the commits they haven't seen yet. I think that's the priority. I wouldn't be surprised if they went out to Chambers, Nebraska to watch Carter Nelson and Ainsworth play an 8-man game. He's a 2024 prospect tight end that's getting a lot of attention. And then Mickey Joseph will go down to Louisiana for a couple of days. Go down to Monroe on Friday and New Orleans as well. So Mickey will make his way down to his neck of the woods.
Yeah. Thanks, Sean. We appreciate it. Time to take a look around the Big Ten. The Indiana Hoosiers won in overtime in a game they really should have lost. I'm not saying I wasn't betting on it, so I don't care. But Western Kentucky 33-30. Penn State took care of business in SEC country in the second half, 41-12 over Auburn, and Iowa shut out Nevada 27-0 during a marathon game that had 3 different weather delays. If you stayed up to watch that, congratulations. We have a winner in our game day photo contest. Michelle Kintified snapped this photo during the pregame festivities with Fox's Big Noon kickoff. Local celebrity, renowned Husker fan, Larry the Cable Guy. Thanks for sharing, Michelle. Remember to send us your best game day photo each week for a chance to win great prizes. I'm going to get to some of the questions. Before we do that, and I asked you over there, you expect if Mickey's not around that we could have a massive amount of decommits?
Well, I'm more interested in roster movement because I think recruiting your own roster might be as important as recruiting high school players.
Gotcha.
Guys like Trey Palmer, Marcus Washington, some of those types of names. A lot just depends on who the hire is and kind of how this all shakes out. But recruiting your own 85 right now is going to be just as important as trying to sign 15 high school guys, and then figuring out the transfer portal when that opens up for business on December 5th. I mean, it's going to be like opening day of deer hunting season. I mean, there's people out everywhere trying to find players.
DB, this is not the most important question, but I know fans look at it. They saw Chubba Purdy go out there and look okay. They saw Casey Thompson struggle a little bit. What do you think happens there at quarterback?
Well, I think competition will reign supreme. So you continue to try to give both guys their reps, their looks, and see what works. Nebraska's got to explore all options offensively in terms of their plan of attack, the ground game, getting more athletic. So I think, everything's on the table. Casey Thompson has been a tremendous leader and said all the right things for Nebraska. But I think if they want to breed a culture of competitiveness, then everything has to be on the table.
It's got to be that way, I'm assuming, in defense too, right?
Oh,
every option's got to be.
Oh, man, it is. Every spot's up for grabs. Every single one. And they better find it. They better find guys who want to compete, who want to win, and just have a little nastiness about them. There's a lot of other words that come to my head I want to say that they need to play like, but I can't say it right now. Take some pride in what you do and how you operate things. You're not only doing it for, the N on your helmet, but the name on your back too, I think means something. Have some pride in how you operate. And you just have that sick feeling like when you get beat. Just got to be able to that makes you so angry. You never want that to happen again. That's what they got to try to find. They don't have that right now. I think a lot of guys are out there playing like they're just happy being on the team. They're not playing to get better. They're not working to get better. And they're not playing angry. They're not playing mad that they're getting their heads kicked in every week in and week out. So it's interesting to see who's going to step up and bring that up a little bit. It's not going to be there right away against Indiana, but just someone step up and see if they can kind of find that and dig it out.
Indiana sold out, correct? Then they go on the road for 2 weeks. And then there's another home game. Is it Purdue? Is that the one that's kind of a question mark?
No, they're at Purdue.
At Purdue. So I know Indiana sold out.
Well, you got Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, there's opponent tickets. And I don't know how they factor that in because opponents will return
them back,
too. Yeah. And there used to always be gray area with the sellout streak on those opponent seats, how that was counted because those were contracted to the opponent and then they returned them maybe a week or two before the game. Mm-hmm. And do those all become red carpet seats? It's hard to say. Yeah. But yeah, I think the sellout streak watch is real down the stretch here with some of these games.
This is for you, Damon. Matt from Facebook says, being the father of an NU recruit and a former player and a high school coach, what advice would you give out there to some of those recruits that are kind of waiting to see what happens?
Yeah, I think be patient and keep all your options open in terms of what Nebraska's capable of doing. If Nebraska's on your radar, I just remind, my own kid all the time, it's not about any one particular person. It's about the university, and the university has to be something that you could see yourself being a part of for 4 or 5 years. And with all the movement and comings and goings with what happens with coaching staffs, it's dangerous to be committed to one person or to one thing. It has to be in its totality. So, I think everything is fair game and it's on the table. And I think, just Nebraska, personally speaking, immediately after Coach Frost's dismissal, we get the 13 or 14 handwritten letters. They all came at the same time, and Coach Joseph reaching out and. He was a big Coach Chenander guy, though. Mm-hmm. So that would be interesting, and he and I haven't talked about that. But, we'll just see how that plays out.
One of the things that Damon always says, and I'm sure you feel this way, it's not the University of Tom Osborne. It's not the University of Scott Frost. Mm-hmm. University of Nebraska. You got to play for that, right? That's what's got to be the one thing that's at the end you go to bed.
Yeah, I was actually wondering, if he didn't bring it up, I was going to ask him. You as a player, what's most important, the coaches recruiting or the university? Now, it's always interesting. You see people that commit and they leave because their coach left. I get some of those things. You might have a real connection, but man, this is obviously I'm biased.
Yeah.
I believe Damon is too.
As I am.
So that's what I wanted to do since I was like 3 years old, is play football at University of Nebraska. Mm-hmm. So I had other offers, and as soon as Nebraska committed or offered me the scholarship, I committed that next day. I could have went to other places, took other visits, and it was done. I was going nowhere else. So it's hard to see what the kids are going through right now, obviously. But yeah, I'm a big, you got to commit to that university first, just because of you get caught up in who's coaching and whatnot. I mean, I went.
How about Mickey
coaching.
echoing that sentiment?
Yeah.
Yep, he said.
Which was maybe the most impressive thing that he said today, because people always want to make it about him, the individual, and he still deflected and made it about the university because he knows that's where the ultimate staying power is.
Showing this, kind of continuing this, Scott Milcorn says coaches are going out to recruit. What do you tell the recruits to persuade them to come when all this is happening?
I just think you keep dialogue going, you keep conversation going, you keep a presence, and most importantly, you sell the brand in Nebraska. I mean, you're there to sell Nebraska. You're not there to sell yourself, as these guys said. And I think the main thing is to keep a presence. And who knows? I mean, there could very well be 2 or 3 of these guys retained. We just don't know what direction this is all going to go, and all these guys have to look at it like that, especially guys like Brian Applewhite, Mickey Joseph, maybe Donovan Raiola, Bill Bush. Some of those guys, they're trying to show that they still want to be at Nebraska regardless, and they're working hard at it.
A.J. Allen out. Obviously, Gabe Ervin moves up. We still haven't seen much about Ramir Johnson. What do you think the deal is with running back position?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's one of the more interesting things that I've seen unfold, especially given how fall camp went and spring ball, where he was playing, doing multiple roles, and he had been a high character guy and a really good teammate for all intents and purposes, and had shown a ton of versatility. So his absence is a little bit of a head scratcher.
Do you think that they will continue to do the red carpet thing with sellout? If they don't sell out, they'll just give the tickets away or let it die?
Well, they're not giving them away. Someone's still paying for them, and they're getting a tax write-off.
Then they're donating them.
And they're donating it. So Dr. Chatters has done a really good job.
He's fantastic.
With that program. And because I talked to him about that in Ireland, actually. But I'm like, just think about how many young kids in Omaha or other parts of the state.
Yeah.
It's it used to be 10, 20, $30 to go to a Nebraska game. It's a lot more than that now, and it's not something that everybody can do. And I think to get young kids in there, maybe not to play football in Nebraska, but just to go to school at Lincoln, and see the campus and say, I want to go to college here and be a part of this school someday. I think that program, just the idea of it and the branding of it, was one of the best ideas we've seen in a while.
Dr. Chatters is one of the best kept secrets at the university. He's fantastic.
Yeah, because you have a lot more kids going to school there for academics than you do to play athletes.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you got to keep them as well. One of the last questions from Darren on Facebook. If you do bring in a different coach in, you can't tell them to ask him to keep Mickey or keep Barrett Ruud, right? You got to let the guy make his decisions.
No, I would disagree with that.
You can?
Yeah,
You can make it a stipulation if Dave Aranda comes in and say, this guy's got to stay?
I think in that hiring process, you make that known upon taking the job that, hey, this is a guy that I think would be a good fit on your staff. Is this something that you could ascertain?
Well, to salvage the roster too.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean,
and coaches have to know that a little bit.
Well, Turner Gill in 04, we saw that. They kept him for another year for the transition.
Yeah,
like Brian Applewhite staying could mean Anthony Grant and A.J. Allen staying.
Right.
Like something like that. It's pretty important when you look at it. Right
I think
now.
that would definitely be on the table.
To do that.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. We go burning questions. You want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go first. What's heading into next week? What's this defense going to look like? What kind of changes are they going to make systematically, schematically? So it's going to be interesting to see coming into Indiana.
Yeah, mine's easy. New faces or new places for this team. Who can win a job and who's an incumbent?
Mickey Joseph today admitted that they need to slow it down on offense and slow the tempo down. What will that look like? And will Mark Whipple be on board with that? He doesn't strike me as a slow it down type of coach, and he tried to go 14 possessions against Oklahoma last week, and we saw how that went on Saturday.
My question is, what do you do at quarterback? Chubba Purdy showed some stuff. Casey Thompson, occasionally he's played well, but there's been some times where he's had some problems. Do you decide early against Indiana if there's a problem, or do you even start Purdy if he wins the battle in practice? We're back next week to tackle the bye week. I guess former Husker lineman Rob Zatechka joins us. Doc does. A friend of the show, of course, Steve Sipple, as well from Husker Online. We know there's no football game this weekend, but Nebraska Public Media has your sports fix covered. First up on Saturday night, the second-ranked Nebraska volleyball team welcomes Big Ten opponent Ohio State to the Bob. First serve is scheduled for 7 p.m. Central Time. Then on Sunday, Creighton welcomes in Villanova to DJ Sokol Arena for the Big East Showdown. Catch that matchup at 1 p.m. Central on Nebraska Public Media Sports for Nebraska's home for volleyball. Our thanks to Sean Callahan, Jay Foreman, and for our student volunteers in the call center for tonight, Jay Moore, Damon Benning. I'm Michael Severe. See you next week on Big Red Wrap-Up.